To the United States, where former U.S. President Donald Trump is to face charges over his handling of classified documents after he left the White House. 76-year-old Mr. Trump will be confronted with 7 charges, including unauthorized retention of classified files. The charges are not yet public. It is the second indictment of Mr. Trump, and if convicted, he can carry a prison sentence. He's campaigning to make a return to the White House in 2024. Legal experts say the indictment will not limit Mr. Trump's ability to run for the presidency again. In a post, Mr. Trump said he is innocent, adding that he never thought it is possible that such a thing could happen to a former president of the United States. And for more on this, I'm joined by a Republican. He joins us from the United States, Ejike Okpa. Good to have you join us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, a lot has been said about how unprecedented this is, a federal indictment of a former president in the U.S. I want to get your thoughts on it. I know you have been following all of the cases against the president, and this is the second indictment so far.
You know, everything about Trump is unprecedented. The first American to have, run for the office and won, who didn't come from the political background of having been a governor, member of Congress, and all of that. So there's been some resentment towards him. He was very unconventional. He did things that irritated both people in his own party as well as the Democrats. And so, yeah, I can see why that resentment has continued since 2017 when he took office. And now that he is also leading in the polls of likely GOP candidates for nomination for upcoming election in 2024, those who don't like him, who can stand him, are trying to throw all the mud, what we call, throwing all the mud on the wall to see what is going to stick. It's an indictment. It's very unfortunate. Those who want to see it happen are very happy. Those who hate it are very disappointed, because America is degenerating into a third world country, whereby if people don't like your policy, they're going to see what it is they can do to get you out of the way. It's an indictment, it's not a conviction. So if at the end of the day, he goes to court, and between now and 2005, it's very unlikely, this thing will go to court. You saw what happened in the case of New York. So, welcome to the field of contact sports, politics, which is now becoming very brutal, very uncivilized, and it's just making some of us that are in America who came here because of what we consider to be a fair and just society to be like the one we left behind.
But Mr. Okpa, just listening to you, and I know that's how his supporters and some Republicans also feel, like this is a political witch hunt. But in this particular case, it's not as though these charges were fabricated. He was notified of these documents. He was asked to return them, didn't return them. There are reports that at some point he had given them to some staff to at least hide them. There are also reports of him showing these documents off to other people. These are not fabricated charges. So when you say that they're picking, it is unfortunate and it looks like, in general term, a political witch hunt. But what about the conduct of the former president himself?
What needs to be proven at this point is, has anybody been hurt? Has any nation been undermined? Has anybody lost anything because of that? Other president, once this news broke, other presidents, including Obama, Vice President Pence, even current President Biden, they were starting to say that they too have some documents in their own personal spaces. So yes, the way Trump has handled it may have not appealed to a lot of people, and may have, encouraged, the criminal investigation that's now leading to an indictment. The fact remains is, nobody will come and say, oh, because of the classified information that they reviewed from Trump, somebody has been injuriously affected. So, but again, those are the things that are going to come up in court. And then we'll see how that, that pans out. The point is, this is not going to stop him from getting going for the nomination. It's an indictment, fine. Then, the lawyers are going to go to court and start to fight it out until there's a trial, and then either a plea, which if he makes a plea, he makes a plea, or if he's convicted, then again, that doesn't even mean he's going to go to jail. There's going to be an appeal. So you're looking at, this to be some years down the road. I'm not saying he's going to win as president the next time, but this is unfortunate because what he's doing is encouraging the next party who is in charge. Then they can go after a former president. And I'm very shocked and obviously disappointed that all the former presidents are alive are not saying, hey, this is not fair. You don't have to like Trump in order to see that.
I don't know if the U.S. is the only country where former presidents have been indicted. In France, we've seen it happen in France. We've seen it happen in Pakistan. We've seen it happen in other countries. I'm going somewhere with this. And you say that, look, no one was hurt or no one was affected just because he had this document. What about the question of national security?
Again, if you say national security has been compromised, you have to prove that somebody has been injuriously affected. That is the thing. That I told you a secret or that I showed you a document that you shouldn't have. How has that injured you? That needs to be proven in court. But if it's just because he had it, other presidents have had things in their home. When Bill Clinton left the White House, Hillary was accused of having taken some china out of the White House. Go Google it, nobody did anything. So my point is, when you set this on precedent, what's going to happen? We're assuming the Republicans take control of, the Congress and DOJ. They're going to start witch hunting somebody. We don't want to see what appears to be a witch hunt when we're dealing with politics. If you don't like somebody, fine. Vote him out or don't vote for him. But don't go in and start to make it look like I'm going to get you. You have given me enough reason for me to come after you, even for the most flimsy of excuses. Okay, I've been in America for 30-something years. I've had the opportunity to have been participating, and there are certain things that I just shake my head. I say, no, this shouldn't be. We should be that pinnacle of a nation where other people could say, you know what? This is not fair. Our constitution is very, explicit about what you can or cannot do. But is the former president going to go to jail for this? I doubt it. The sun would have risen from the west before this would happen. But it's very unfortunate. We'll see what happens.
Anyway, I just wanted to say that Hillary was accused, the former Secretary of State was accused of using her personal email for official communications. But I want to talk about, because you have mentioned that, look, this is not going to stop him from running, his bid for the White House. And you're correct about that. And it has not also affected his popularity. In fact, a lot of people have been making donations because of this indictment. But do you think that at some point, this could have a cumulative effect where the Republican Party begin to see him as a liability?
Well, I mean, the Republican Party, as I cannot say don't run. I mean, no party has that right. Any American is qualified. In fact, the Constitution didn't even make any reference that if you've been a former convict, you cannot run for office. No, it's up to the voters to not make a decision. Because of that baggage or because of that history, we're not going to vote for you. But the American Constitution did not say that if a former president has been convicted or felt, that they're not suitable for office. So that's what I'm saying. But the Americans, they're very resilient people, and they're going to pull back and say, what are we doing here? This has nothing to really do with how good the country is going. Again, Trump has his own pluses and minuses. I'm not ruining on any of those, but I'm just saying, because you found some documents, there was a request that was made, and maybe he didn't respond. Maybe he was playing game just like everybody does. And then all of a sudden it's leading to an indictment. Again, that's fine. Indictment, now what you have done is to have taken it from administrative situation, which is what indictment and investigation will do, to now the courts. So it's up to the courts. And then in the court is where you say you have your day in court, and then you have your lawyers. But is he going to go to jail? Heck no. Is this going to stop him from seeking nomination in 2 months? We're going to see the debate and then the polls are going to come out and see where the polls are. So my point is that, Trump nature, the way he's come to presidency has been a bone of contention. It's irritating a lot of people, the media, people are trying to find anything to throw at him. Again, let's see what is going to stick. Nothing has so far stuck. It's just a matter of let's see if we can, shame him. But the more they do those things, the more they're energizing people, because now they resent that establishment that is doing it, and then they look at it as a witch hunt. I'm not saying it's a witch hunt, but I'm just saying it is an undue treatment of somebody who, when he was president, did for America what many other past presidents couldn't do.
In one of these cases, he was asked to, he was found guilty and asked to pay compensation. But I just, wanted to understand that we do have to leave it there. But I was going to ask you if the weight of this could affect his campaign. But we'll see how it plays out. Thank you so much for talking to us, as always, Ejike Okpa from the United States of America.
Thank you for having me, and best wishes.